Most intelligent people don't look intelligent at all. They don't talk the fastest. They don't have the best grades. They second guess everything. They go quiet in groups. They feel out of place in conversations everyone else enjoys. And yet, cognitive scientists have found a very specific set of patterns that appear almost exclusively in high-functioning, non-traditional minds. The problem? These patterns look like flaws. Here are 10 signs your brain is working at a level most people never reach, and you've been calling them weaknesses your entire life. Sign 1. You overthink simple decisions. Most people decide fast. You don't. Not because you're anxious, because your brain won't let you stop. Picture this. Someone asks where you want to eat. They're already grabbing their keys. You're still running the options, still weighing, still calculating. Psychologists call this counterfactual thinking, your brain simulating multiple outcomes before committing to one. Research in experimental psychology shows people who think this way make more accurate decisions over time, even when they appear slower in the moment. The benefit? You catch problems others walk straight into. You think ahead without trying to. The hidden cost. People read your pause as weakness. They call it indecision. What it actually is your brain doing more work than theirs. There's another layer to this. Sign 2 shows a different side of the same pattern. Sign 2. You can't always explain how you know things. You get to the right answer, but you can't always show your work. The thinking happened somewhere below words, below logic, somewhere you can't quite reach. You felt this. In a meeting, a plan is presented. Everyone nods. You feel something is wrong. You say, "It just doesn't feel right." People look at you. Later, you are proven correct. Psychologists call this tacit knowledge, understanding that works before language catches up to it. Research in cognitive science suggests high performers often process complex information intuitively, long before they can explain it. The benefit? Your instincts are compressed pattern recognition, built from everything you've ever noticed. The hidden cost? The world rewards confidence out loud, and this trait makes you look uncertain almost every single time. What most people miss is, this isn't confusion, it's intelligence running faster than speech. Now consider this next sign. It looks like a flaw too. Sign 3. You get bored faster than almost anyone. This isn't laziness. It's not a short attention span. Your brain finishes processing before the task is over, and once it's done, it's done. Think about this moment. You start a new job excited. 3 months in, you've mapped every process, spotted every problem, and now the work feels empty, like moving furniture in a room you've already memorized. Psychologists call this high need for cognition, a personality trait linked to above-average intelligence. It means your brain is always looking for the next real challenge. Research in the Journal of Individual Differences found people with this trait disengage fast when the environment stops demanding anything from them. The benefit? You evolve faster than your surroundings. That's a feature, not a flaw. The hidden cost? Almost every institution, school, corporate jobs, repetitive routines, was built for a different kind of brain, not yours. But here's the paradox. Sign 4 goes even deeper into how your mind actually works. Sign 4. You question things everyone else just accepts. You're not trying to be difficult. You just can't accept an answer that doesn't hold up. Rules, systems, explanations, your brain treats all of them as guesses until proven otherwise. Picture this. Someone says, "That's just how it works." Most people move on. You can't. You need to know why it works that way, and whether it actually should. Psychologists call this epistemic curiosity, the drive to close gaps in understanding. Not just to know more, but to know why. Research in cognitive psychology suggests this trait is one of the strongest predictors of long-term intellectual growth. The benefit? You catch flawed logic early, before it becomes a costly mistake. In the right room, that's leadership thinking. The hidden cost? People find it exhausting. What feels like honest questions to you feels like resistance to them. There's another layer, and it shows up in how you see problems differently.
Sign 5. You think in systems, not just steps. You don't just see the problem in front of you. You see the whole network around it, the causes, the effects, the 3 new problems that appear if you fix this one the wrong way. You felt this. Your team is fixing a customer complaint. Everyone is focused on the complaint. You're already 2 steps back, looking at what's creating it, and 2 steps forward, seeing what happens if the fix doesn't hold. Psychologists call this systems thinking, the ability to see connected structures instead of isolated events. Research in organizational psychology shows systems thinkers consistently outperform others in complex, high-pressure environments. The benefit? You solve the real problem, while others solve the visible one. The hidden cost? You can't turn this off. Simple conversations become complicated. Simple plans look fragile. That mental load is real. Now consider this. Sign 6 is about how you actually learn and why the way you were taught never fully worked. Now consider this.
Sign 6. You learn differently than you were taught. Step-by-step instruction never clicked for you. Not because the material was too hard, because you need meaning before method, context before structure. Think about this moment. In school, you couldn't memorize the formula. Not until someone explained why it existed. The second the logic made sense, everything locked in instantly. Before that, you looked like you weren't trying. Psychologists call this deep processing, connecting new information to bigger frameworks instead of surface repetition. Research in educational psychology shows deep processors outperform others on complex problem solving, but underperform on rote standardized tests. The benefit? What you learn you actually understand. You can apply it, build on it, transfer it to places others can't. The hidden cost? Every conventional school system was built for the other kind of learner. You paid for that mismatch for years. Here's what's interesting. The next sign moves from how you think to how you feel. Sign 7. You feel everything more intensely than others seem to. This isn't weakness. It's not oversensitivity. It's a different level of perception. You don't just notice things, you feel the weight of them. You felt this. A comment lands wrong. Everyone else has moved on in seconds. You're still carrying it 3 days later. Not because you're fragile, because you registered something the others didn't even catch. Psychologists call this sensory processing sensitivity, a neurological trait found in roughly 20% of people. It's directly linked to cognitive complexity. Research in psychology shows highly sensitive individuals show heightened activity in brain regions tied to awareness, empathy, and complex thinking. The benefit? You read people and rooms with unusual accuracy. You catch what others miss. The hidden cost? The world is loud, and you hear all of it. But consider this. That same depth affects where you work best. Sign 8 shows exactly how. Sign 8. You think better alone than in a group. In groups, your best ideas disappear. You go quiet. You edit yourself. You leave feeling like you contributed nothing. Alone, you're a different person entirely. Picture this. Team brainstorm, ideas are flying. The conversation moves fast. The loudest voices take over. By the time you've fully formed a thought, the topic is already shifted. But on a long walk alone, the ideas don't stop. Research in social
psychology shows complex thinkers perform significantly worse in high-stimulation group settings, and significantly better in low-distraction, self-directed conditions. Psychologists call this the social facilitation effect, where the presence of others actually reduces performance on complex tasks. The benefit? You don't need the room to think well. You need space. The hidden cost. The world is built around group thinkers, open offices, brainstorms, team meetings, all designed for a brain that isn't yours. There's another layer, and it's the one that costs the most internally. Sign 9, you are hardest on yourself. The standard you hold yourself to isn't normal. You know this. You've always known this. Think about this moment. You finish a project, others say it's excellent, you see every compromise you made. Every section you didn't push far enough. Every version of it that could have existed if you'd had more time, more focus. The compliment doesn't land. The gap does. Psychologists call this self-discrepancy, the tension between who you are now and who you know you're capable of becoming. Research in psychology shows this tension runs highest in individuals with the most developed sense of their own potential. The benefit? That gap is the engine. It's what keeps pulling you forward when others have already stopped. The hidden cost? The smarter you get, the wider the gap feels. The better you become, the further away good enough moves. What most people miss is, this isn't self-destruction. It's the price of a rare standard. Now, the final sign. This one hits differently. Sign 10, you've never felt fully understood. Not in a dramatic way, just slightly off, like you're always translating, like most conversations stay at a surface you're not interested in. Like the conversations you actually want almost never happen by accident. You felt this. You meet someone new, the small talk is fine, but you're already waiting for the moment it goes somewhere real. For the moment someone says something that makes you lean forward. It happens rarely, and when it does, you remember it for years. Psychologists call this intellectual loneliness, a documented experience in cognitively complex individuals who find that their natural depth creates a chronic social mismatch. Research in gifted psychology found that people in the higher ranges of cognitive ability consistently report feeling isolated, not from lack of social skill, but from lack of social match. The benefit? This feeling is information. It tells you exactly what kind of people, work, and environment you actually need. The hidden cost? Most people never name this feeling. They just carry it as proof that something is wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with you. You just haven't been in the right room yet. These traits you've been carrying, the ones that felt like problems, they were never weaknesses. They were the architecture of a rare mind. You weren't too slow, too sensitive, too quiet, too much. Your brain simply processes the world at a depth most people never reach. The question now isn't whether you have these traits. You already know the answer to that. The question is what you do with the intelligence you've always had, but never fully recognized. If this felt true, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to go deeper into how this kind of mind actually works, the next video is already there.